Well, hello everybody. It's H-Boy here again. And you remember that video I did where I did about a Rudy slander where I criticized the manager known as Rudy Rhodes? Well, I'm going to be doing part 2 of that because I've discovered some little worse things about him. I think he might have given his band Stockholm Syndrome. Let's get to it. Before I start, let me just point something out. I don't know if you remember Gustavo from Big Time Rush. The thing about Gustavo from Big Time Rush is, let me get him. The thing about Gustavo is he's a bad person but a good manager, yet Rudy's a good person but a bad manager. So I don't know what to say about that, but I'll worry about that later because this is not a Gustavo video, this is a Rudy video. But either way, let's get back to Rudy because I'll worry about Gustavo later. Let's start with this episode. There was an episode called Star Power where there was this guy named Sammy Star. Look at him. Look at this guy. And as you can see, he's a little more fancy than Rudy with blonde hair and a tie, and he's always winning rewards and blah 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 blah. Well, here's what happened. There was one episode called Star Power where he wanted to join him instead of Rudy. However, it seems like it would be the best thing because look at this. Remember how in the last video I talked about how Rudy never is able to do a successful gig because he never does his research? Well, what's his name? Sammy actually did research, and at the end and at the about the tail end of the episode, like the ending of the episode around there, he actually did get a gig. It's like there's lots of people, it's big, it's like you'd think they'd actually want it. But for status quo reasons, but in universe it's because it's almost like they have Stockholm Syndrome. They, if more or less, decide to send him to the monster pets and just to come back to Rudy, which in my opinion was a bad idea because, one, if they stayed they would have gotten real concerts, and two, this guy's smarter and safer and stuff. I don't know, safe is not the correct word. Which isn't too bad, but still pretty bad. Still pretty bad. Either way, that's what I have to say about that. Is there anything else I can say about... Oh, and then, so as I said, I don't know if I told you about the dome, and then also another thing, because I know unfortunately I don't really have much to talk about in this one compared to the last one, because everything I wanted to talk about in this one I talked about in the last one. So, because the Stockholm Syndrome was probably the only thing I wanted to talk about in this one. And then another thing but let's just talk one thing about Sammy before I end the video. Sammy seemed like he was going to be the guy where, it's one of those characters where it's a good guy, he's doing everything for them, everything's fine, everyone loves him, but he's only a villain because of some underlying plan which doesn't get revealed until the end of the episode. That's what I thought Sammy was going to be when I first saw him. However, it turns out he actually seems to be a good guy. But the problem with him, I wouldn't say problem, the issue with him is he's a bit off in the head. He's like really off in the head. He's so off in the head that I wouldn't say you gotta put him into a mental institute because I said he's a good man, but he's not mental institute worthy. However, Gustavo is mental institute worthy, and I know this video isn't about him. I'm comparing them because they're both nutty managers. I think that in sitcom about a band history, they're the two nuttiest managers I know of. They're nutty, you hear me? But let's just quickly do a quick chit-chat about Gustavo for a split second. For example, Gustavo respects Big Time Rush, however, he's just a rude dude. However, he's always mean to James. However, that's not too big a deal, because I hate James too. I mean, like, Look at that little foo-foo. Just look at him. You see him? He's a foo-foo. Look at him. Don't like him. He's ugly. But that's okay. That's not the point. If it was the point, then I would worry about that in another video. However, as you can see, he doesn't like the band, but Rudy does like his band. But the problem is, you'd expect him to treat it with more respect if he likes it. I actually don't know. Okay, I'm starting to go on a spiel, so I guess I'm just going to end the video here. Toodaloo.